how's it going? Sorry, these lights look weird. I woke up today to find out that as of a couple of hours ago, Vladimir Putin declared that he was going to go to war with the Ukraine. Now, the official story behind it is that there are pro-separatists Ukrainians, you know, the ones who support Russia, like to the east, that Russia want to protect, and apparently this is the reason behind them going to war with the Ukraine. I think that's bullshit, and I think it's been bullshit. I mean, the West have been saying that Putin has wanted Ukraine for the longest time now, and I didn't believe the West because the West have told so many lies before. But yeah, apparently Putin's going to war. Full-scale invasion is what we're looking at here. Now, with regards to invasions themselves, if Putin is going to invade the Ukraine now, you can guarantee that plans for invasions were not a quick thing. Despite what they tell you on TV, despite what politicians tell you, invasions are not a quick thing. Invasions take at least a year to prepare for. Right? You know, invasions are not a cut and dried situation. They take a year to prepare for. They've got to prepare troops. They've got to prepare weapons. They've got to prepare strategies. And you're talking about an entire country that they're going after, even if it is a small one. That takes planning. So if Putin is going to invade the Ukraine now, then the planning has been in the works for quite some time, which means that World War III was always coming, and it was always going to come. Only at this time, it comes through the invasion of Ukraine. Now, with regards to Britain's part in it, what Boris Johnson actually did is he sent just over 100 troops to the Ukraine, which isn't very many, just over 100 troops to the Ukraine to train, I think, 9,000 strong Ukrainian troops. It's either 9,000 or 90,000. I think it's 9,000. So 100 UK troops were deployed to the Ukraine to train like 9,000 Ukrainian troops. And then they've got, then Boris Johnson said 900 in Estonia and 150 to Poland. So for me, what it looks like that Boris Johnson has done is he's shown up for NATO, but the numbers of the troops that he has down there, it says to me that he really doesn't want any smoke with Russia, which I think is a smart move. But this is one of those occasions where I feel like Johnson is caught in between a rock and a hard place here. I think he's probably thinking that war will look really, really good for his image. I'm not as enthusiastic about that, but I think that he is kind of doing a Tywin Lannister, playing both sides and kind of playing the loyalty of both sides, and then, you know, kind of really pulling back until the last minute until like a deciding winner has been chosen. I think the UK will survive this. And I'm not saying this in a way that says, you know, oh, jolly old hockey sticks or whatever, or trying to be optimistic. The reason why I think the UK will survive this is because the UK have always strived to be an economic hub or an economic, the UK is more of an economic country than an army-based one. And it's for precisely this reason why British colonialism was so strong, is because they were focused on trade and economics more heavily and focused on negotiations more heavily than actual warfare. You know, that's why they're colonialism was so strong to begin with, because the priority was always economics. It was never just saber rattling for the sake of it. But for me, I feel that the UK will survive this. I don't know if the US is going to be so lucky. Personally, I don't know if the US is going to be so lucky. Because of Trump, the US have already pissed off Iran. They killed Qasem Soleimani. So I don't know what kind of allegiances Iran would end up having with Russia as well. Because the thing is, it's not just Russia and it's not just the US. You have to consider the UK and Russia's relationships with other countries. The US's relationship with the UK is really shaky, so it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell how the US will fare from their relationship with us, but I know that Boris is playing it safe and trying to appeal to both sides until the time comes where he can decide who's going to win at the end of it, and then he's going to side with the winner. So the UK will survive. The US I'm not entirely sure about, because the US are not very subtle. And, you know, they've never been subtle as... I mean, they've been powerful, but they've never been subtle in terms of warfare or strategy or, like, what they do. Like, everything they do, like, they're basically an open book. Nothing that they do is really, really that subtle. So I don't know what the future holds for the US, but it's not looking good. They've pissed off a lot of people, like, over the decades. So it's not looking good for them. I don't know what Australia will play, because it's not just NATO. We also have the Five Eyes, right? We have Canada, UK, US, New Zealand, Australia, right? So we've got the Five Eyes. Intelligence agency, intelligence collective. So we have to think about that as well, and we have to think about what position that puts the Five Eyes in terms of the war with, you know, the World War III situation, and what side Australia will take. Australia will most likely take... I know that Australia is a former UK colony, but it's mostly colonial Australians that live and control everything. So I feel that the Australians will most likely side with the UK, and whatever the UK decides to do, I think it's going to be the same with New Zealand. The United Arab Emirates, I think, is with NATO. They're the head of Saudi Arabia is the head of the UN as of this moment. They're heading the UN. So I think they're going to do the same thing. I think the United Arab Emirates are going to be as diplomatic as possible, play both sides for as long as they can before they have to choose a winning side. What I really want to know in the midst of all of this is what China's going to do. That's what I really want to know. I want to know what China's going to do, because China already has an economic stronghold on the entire globe. And when I say the entire globe, I'm not fucking around. China is literally the world's superpower. It has been the world's superpower for decades. The West has been falling. And if China sides with Russia, again, the UK will be all right. We're a small country, but, you know, we know about diplomacy, we know about strategy. The UK is going to be all right, no matter what we do, okay? But if China side with Russia, it's going to be very, very evident who wins World War III. That's all I'm saying. It's going to be very, very evident. And it's not about, you know, usually in warfare, it's about who has aerial superiority, right? It's about who has the most air forces. But if we want to talk about aerial superiority, we can't just talk about We can't just talk about, you know, aerial forces or missiles or things like that. If we're going to talk about aerial superiority, we have to talk about directed energy weaponry and acoustic weaponry as well. Because, as you know, defense systems have been experimenting with that, and they've been utilizing it. So that's going to come into play as well. So whoever's in the skies, they better pray that they have like some decent directed energy weapons and acoustic weapons in their corner, whoever's going to be in the sky, because guaranteed there's going to be drones up there through which those weapons are going to be operated by a man. Like, that shit's going to be messy. So you've got aerial forces up there, you've got aero forces up there, and then you've got the directed energy weaponry and acoustic weaponry, which are likely going to be operated with drones. So the airspace is going to be the deciding factor, which is why I think China will win. They've got the economic advantage. And if you've got the economic advantage, you have got the aerial advantage. I'm sorry, but that's the truth. If you've got the aerial advantage, if you've got the economic advantage and the aerial advantage, and not just dropping bombs from the sky, but if you can control the frequency of the air itself, and you've got directed energy weaponry that can destroy aircraft, you've got control of the skies. You've got control of the skies. So whoever's going to be up there in the air, they better hope and pray that their military has good defense weaponry, directed energy weaponry, and acoustic weaponry. They better pray they have good weaponry in their corner. They better pray that all the torture that was inflicted on people like me and on people like my friends was fucking worth it. Huh. They better pray. Because if it wasn't, I'm just saying, boy. I'm just saying. So, I'm just saying, mate. But I did say, when it comes to gang stalking, I did say that it would lead to actual war. Even at my sickest, I knew where all of this was coming. I knew it wasn't going to go to a good place. Don't get it twisted. I think every TI knew it wasn't going to go to a good place, because it never started in a good place. But yeah, war is coming, mate. Now, another question that I have in my mind is that, of course, like, even without behavioral and social engineering, even without irradiation, war is always planned behind the scenes. The way it's presented to the public is as if a war is a spontaneous thing that's happened because, a personal ideal got in the way, or, we're trying to protect these people and these people. But no, war is planned, and war is usually planned around resources. That's just without behavioral engineering. But with behavioral engineering, I think it becomes a real question of how planned was this war? How planned was it? I forgot about Syria as well. Syria is going to be important too. How planned was this war? That's the question that I have. How planned was this war? I know this war was planned. But what is the bigger picture when it comes to the war? We all know that there's a population reset happening. And the population reset is happening, again, because of economic reasons. If there's too many people on the planet and not enough resources, then people can't be controlled efficiently. So they've got to get rid of as many people as possible, especially those who seem to be resistant to the brainwashing, right? So we already know that there's a depopulation effort. We already know that the goalposts are continuously being shifted in order to divert our attention from what's really going on. I have to ask, what is so bad? What is so bad that's really going on behind the scenes? What is so bad that's happening right in front of our eyes that we literally needed World War III to distract us from it? That's the question that I have. What is so bad that we needed World War III? What is so bad that we needed Prince Andrew being exposed? Well, it's Andrew now. It's just Andrew Windsor now. And it's not Prince anymore. Prince has had his title taken away by his mother. Like, what is so bad that they will allow us to see what's going on with Epstein and Maxwell? With another trafficker dead, like apparent suicide. What is so bad is that they're going to allow us to see all of that unfold? What is so bad that they're going to allow World War III to unfold right in front of our eyes? What is so bad that they're actually doing that they're going to go to war just to distract us? And go to war for resources just to distract us. Like, what is so bad? You have to wonder, what is so bad that they needed COVID? They needed a war. They needed fucking Ghislaine Maxwell. They needed Britney. What is so bad that they needed all of these things to distract us? What is really going on is the question that I have. What's really going on? What's really happening? But yeah. The behavioral and social engineering plays a big part in war in general. The war with ourselves, civil wars, ordinary wars. Starts with affecting people's hormones and affecting people's emotions. It's not going to end with gang stalking, and it's not going to end with unlawful experimentation on citizens. But that's where it starts. That's where it started, and that's where it's always going to start. Yeah. A lot of people are fucked. A lot of people. And that's for Freemasons. Every major religion and Freemasonry isn't a religion, by the way, it's a fraternity. All the fraternities and sororities of alchemical natures, all major religions, they're cleaning house. So all the people that were involved in harming us, torturing us, you better prepare because you know the powers that be, they're cleaning house. You better prepare. And in case you're wondering, all the betrayal, all the lies, the abuse, just to feed your addiction or just to quote unquote protect your kids, or just to protect your wives, or just to protect your husbands, or just to protect your businesses. None of it was worth it. There is no question. None of it was worth it. You're not going to have a world left to defend through the bullshit that you've done. Because everyone's cleaning house. Everyone's cleaning house. But anyway, I gotta go. I gotta freshen myself up. I gotta have a shower. I gotta get ready to come back to Brighton because I'm in London at the moment. And this has been a really awful stay because this person behind me is a cunt. Most likely a paid cunt to try to annoy me by screaming and singing in the middle of the night. I mean, that's what they want to do. Again, it's not going to do them any good. It's not going to do them any good. Because behavior like that has literally led to the destruction of the world as we know it. A new world is going to form after this. So, if that's what they want to do, they can have at it. I'm going to have my shower, mate. I'm going to enjoy what's left of the old world before the new one comes along. So, I will see you all later. Take care. Peace and blessings, my fellow TIs. I love you very much. Bye-bye.